Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AR Wrestling Podcast. I'm Alex. This is Ryan. We're going to go over July 29th edition of SmackDown, no, July 29th edition of Raw, and SmackDown's August 2nd edition as well. I do want to point out there was a few things. We learned that Michael Cole, not the biggest fan of Vinnie Mac. We learned this week that Michael Cole was told things in his headset that he was not a fan of. So that just kind of adds more to this whole Janelle Grant lawsuit and everything, I would assume. But I don't know. I can't speak.
Hashtag free Michael Cole.
For real, free Michael Cole. This man has done too much for this business not to get something. So let's get right into it. We open up Raw with Seth freaking Rollins, dude, for this match at SummerSlam. Like, we've already talked with you guys about this match a little bit, but we've already talked the match for SummerSlam post-show, but we're still gonna talk to you guys about Raw and SmackDown because it's still very important. He's in his ref outfit though, so he's ready. He's ready. His shirt and boots both had stripes, kind of showing off. Hey, he's the ref here. He's the one in charge. It's his match, his rules, his regulations, whatever you want to call it.
Rollins rules.
And as always, he welcomes us to Monday Night Rollins. So he's basically like, okay, let's go. Let's get it. We're set. We're here to set the rules, the regulations. So, he doesn't like Drew or he doesn't like Punk. So, he says to St. Paul, Minnesota, he goes, so St. Paul, let's bring out these two morons. First, Punk comes out. There was Punk and Drew. I had the question for you because I don't know much about their beef and everything, but do they have real life beef?
As far as I know, yeah, they do.
What would the beef be?
Like, it has something to stem with way earlier in like Drew's career. I honestly don't know. I don't think it's ever been like made fully public, but it has something to do with like earlier, like during Punk's first run and Drew's first run as like Vince's chosen one or something like that. And I
remember that one.
But it was something.
McIntyre was supposed to be the chosen one. So Punk comes out, then McIntyre comes out.
Drew has beef with Punk.
Yeah, and I had a question. I was like, do we see special entrances at SummerSlam? Obviously, we didn't, but the question being there was because I wanted to know what it would look like if we were given special entrances, especially with this being Punk's return match.
Oh yeah, well, see, I mean, obviously we're recording this after SummerSlam, but like seeing what they did with that, like, I mean, it's like at the time, it's like wondering how they're gonna like pay homage to Brett, Undertaker, and Shawn SummerSlam interaction from '97
or whatever it was,
and they all like perfectly did it. Like Punk came out in the Bret Hart pink, Drew came out in the big overcoat with like spiked gauntlets down his arms, like the Undertaker used to. And then there's Seth Rollins just dressed in the sparkly. He didn't have no short shorts. He had the opposite of short shorts. He had sparkly long pants.
Yeah. Michael Cole, though, I did pick this up on commentary. He subliminally brought up the whole Jack Perry and Drew McIntyre picture by saying Drew McIntyre posted something of Punk's past this past week on Twitter. And then Punk and Drew kind of stare down. They had that beef there, and it's directly from the office of Adam Pearce. This is Rollins talking. He goes, directly from the office of Adam Pearce. You can't lay a finger on each other, or the match is off. If you lay a finger on me, the match for SummerSlam is also off. And so, Punk, he's being himself. He rolls out of the ring, and Drew's like, I have self-control and can wait till Saturday. Don't be a coward and get back in here. And Punk's like, I'm worried about what I'm going to do to y'all if I'm in there with y'all and I can't do much. And because Punk's had that. We all know Punk's past, how he's got, he's kind of a hothead. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But
afraid of a fight.
Punk's chilling by the nasty table, and Rollins goes. He's basically just absolutely just going off on Punk here. He goes, everything has to be Punk's way. This is not how it's going to work. It's not going to be this way. I volunteered to be the ref, and I will call this match. He goes, I want to see the two of you fight. Drew McIntyre wants to see you fight. The people of St. Paul, Minnesota wants this. And if you want this, you need to get your ass back in the ring. And Punk, he kind of starts walking back up, gets in there, and he goes, enjoy the power trip while you can. And Drew is basically saying that him and Rollins have a professional beef, and that Drew agrees with Rollins. That Punk is a cancer. And Drew's basically shitting on Punk, trying to get Rollins to side with him. And Rollins looked at Drew. He called Drew an idiot. But if there's anyone who hates Punk as much as you, it's me. And if it's anyone who hates you, McIntyre, as much as Punk, it's me. And so let's get into the match. There's only one rule, one regulation. You two will listen to everything I have to say, and I noticed he was kind of having a power trip throughout this entire thing, rightfully so, to a degree, in my eyes. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He said, you tap when I say you tap. Rollins, he goes, there may be a count out, there may not be a count out. I may count to 10. I may count to 1,000,000. Disqualifications, referee's discretion. And he goes, if you have problems, I will put your head in the dirt, I would presume, talking to Punk more or less than Drew. But Punk is basically going on a little tear here. He goes, I hope you ref better than you dress, and if you plan on screwing me on Saturday, so be it. But I don't want your help at all. Don't help me. And Drew's like, you shouldn't be worried about him. You should be worried about the 6'5", 285-pound man that wants to kick your head off. I was like, wow, he ain't wrong. This dude's cooking. Let him cook. Yeah. No, right. Drew's like, I can't go anywhere without hearing your name. And he goes, I wasn't trying at the Royal Rumble when I injured you, but you also did screw me out at WrestleMania and Clash of the Castle in front of my hometown, my family. And he goes, I'm going to violently assault you as soon as the bell rings. And Drew isn't going to stop until Punk's heart stops. Obviously, that was complete opposite this past Saturday, unfortunately. Oh my God, yeah. And he's like, dude, I'm going to get paid to do something I would do for free. And Punk fires back. He goes, for 10 years, I was gone. They chanted my name. They sing his song, talking about Rollins. They chant mine. And he goes, they chant my name. You're the third wheel. How does that feel? And Punk looks both at Rollins and Drew, saying they both have PDS, Punk Derangement Syndrome, which I thought was pretty funny, to be honest. And he's kind of, the best and the worst thing in Drew's career was injuring Punk. And Punk, to what it sounded like to me, I don't know about to you, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the way it sounded to me is that Punk was kind of hyping Drew up, and then he flat out just called him stupid. I mean, yeah, would you say he hyped him up for like a half second there, and then?
Yeah, he was like hyping him up just to like tear him down instantly.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry. Where'd it go? I lost my spot. Yeah. And Punk is like, I'm your enemy, but not your worst. You are your worst to Drew. And he goes, I may not be as big or fast or strong as Drew McIntyre, but there's one thing something McIntyre doesn't, and I have heart. And CM Punk has people chanting his name. He looks at McIntyre. He goes, what do you got? And as soon as he turns, what does McIntyre do? He holds up the bracelet. The bracelet. Damn. And they get nose to nose talking about the match and how brutal they're going to be. And then it basically cuts into them just talking shit. And that was the end of this promo. Dude, I wish this match would have played out the way it did at SummerSlam.
So 100%. I don't know. Have you gotten time to go back and rewatch all of SummerSlam yet?
I haven't even got a chance to watch it. No, I was busy trying to get ready to upload I was trying to work on a YouTube video, but my laptop was being too slow.
That's completely fair. I have, and I went back to watch Punk, Drew. So I rewatched everything, obviously. Mm-hmm. Leaving SummerSlam live on our review show, I said that I was really disappointed by the match and really upset with how it went. Watching it on TV, that might be my second or third favorite match on the card.
Really?
So it has everything to do with the fact that Seth Rollins is wearing a microphone, and that you can pick up on almost everything that Seth is yelling. And him and Drew, the things that they're yelling at each other, the things that Punk and Drew start yelling at each other, the conversation that Punk and Seth have, where you can actually hear Seth Rollins go, this is my ring, this is my match, this is my rules, and then he goes into even more of a power trip saying, this is my company. I never wanted you here. Nobody ever wanted you here. You need to get out. You need to focus on your real problem. That is Drew. Drew is your real problem, and you need to stop focusing on me. Is essentially what he started yelling at Punk before Punk gave him a GTS.
Dude, when he gave him that GTS, the entire fucking arena went lit.
That was awesome. But it's just, you get a completely different perspective on the match watching it on the TV. And thinking back on it, it was never promised to be a no DQ, crazy spot fest match. It was always marketed as a traditional match. It's just that Seth Rollins was going to be lenient on it. So I guess we got what we were promised. And I'm still a little disappointed it wasn't more violent, but it's still super high on my list now. I like it a lot more.
I didn't really have much for that match, but like you said, I still got to go back and watch it. I'm going to. Then I was also told to watch the WrestleMania 40 documentary, then go back and rewatch the press conference as well. So I have a lot of shit to watch.
Yeah, I got to watch. I didn't know that was the thing to watch like that.
Yeah. My dad, he told me that I don't know if you've watched the press conference, but he told me that if you have seen the WrestleMania 40 documentary, a lot of the shit that's said in the press conference makes sense because it all ties into that documentary. So I'm going to have to figure that out.
40 press conference?
Yeah, the WrestleMania 40 press conference.
Okay. So I got you.
We'll see where we get there. But let's get into it. Let's move in to the Judgment Day. We're going to have 2 back-to-back segments, so I'm just going to straight up go right into all of it. For the Judgment Day, their locker room's trash, and Dom's like, who did this? And Rhea's like, dude, you're so stupid. Who do you think did this? I'm not going to lie to you. Now looking back on it, I'm thinking there's a chance it was Mysterio or Balor. I'm not going to lie to you, because think about it. Mainly because Balor, his shoes, briefcase, or lunchbox, whatever the hell it is, and his name or his face was not touched.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, man. You're so right. That's something
I just happen to think about that. But
hopefully we find out more tonight. Recording this on Monday before Raw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully. Let's see here. We go. Yeah, basically, Rhea's like, who do you think did this? Liv is having a little hissy fit. We could rebuild the locker room, but Liv, she won't be able to rebuild what I do to her at WrestleMania, SummerSlam. And Rhea's like,
WrestleMania at this point.
Carlito comes up, brings the PlayStation. Carlito leaves, and Rhea's like, why is he still in here? And Dom brings Carlito out, and then we go right to commercial. Coming straight back into it, though, we have where to go? I lost it. We have Judgment Day cleaning up, and Damon's like, let me guess, Liv, and Damon wants to be with Finn. No, Damon wants to be with Finn tonight in his match against Gunther, but Finn's like, look, I need to be this on my own. I'm gonna soften up for you, but you need to focus on your match with Gunther instead of going out there with me instead. And so Rhea and Damian, they've been going backwards this entire time since Rhea's been gone. And honestly, they have been going backwards since Rhea's been gone. I mean, Liv started taking over as soon as Rhea relinquished that championship, essentially.
Yeah, literally.
It's around that time. But Dom says Carlito should fight Sammy. Carlito's like, let me go talk to Adam Pearce. Carlito's dumb.
He's cool though.
Carlito's dumb when it comes to this. But
where are we at? He's cool. He's a cool guy.
He's cool. He's a cool guy. We actually got to see him in person in Cleveland. It was pretty cool. But probably my most favorite people that I met all weekend: Otis, Akira, Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree. SummerSlam.
I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Anyways, they fought the Creed brothers, who had Chad Gable by their side. Basically, it was kind of, to me, it was kind of just a push Perk Academy more or less into the spotlight with this whole White Six thing going on. I mean, Otis, he did have a huge spot where he did hit the Caterpillar, but I mean, the Creeds were able to basically knock him down for the win, and stuff like that. So it was kind of just a what would you call a squash match for the Creed brothers. And so they basically, Park Academy is attacking Otis after the match. Maxine ends up jumping on top of Chad it's like, stop this. And Gable screams at her, but she ends up slapping him across the face. I forgot to ask her how good it felt to slap him across the face. And I was sitting here thinking, I was like, Maxine wants all the sauce. And then lights go dark. And I see Maxine just out dump out of the ring and start leaving through the crowd. Otis is hidden somewhere. And there's a bunch of, you fucked up chants. And then the piano hits. There's smoke everywhere. Like we've been seeing for weeks, Perk Academy being in the ring. But we see YS6 at the top of the ramp. We have the Huskus the Pig. We now know, obviously, for weeks now, Joe Gacy, Mercy the Buzzard, Dexter Loomis, Ramblin' Rabbit being Eric Rowan. I noticed, though, a lot of their outfits all represent the puppets more. Like I just happened to go back on the picture when they dropped. Well, when I get to the point when they took off their masks, I went back and looked, and we all saw Mercy the Buzzard shirt. We saw whatever Ramblin' Rabbit wears, and something that Huskus the Pig wears, and I didn't even know it up until I looked at it. And so they get up on the apron. Again, they all take off their masks. Bro, I was so happy when I saw this. And Nikki Cross ends up on the top rope, jumps off, takes out Gable, and Michael Cole, I noticed this, he called Nikki Cross Sister Abigail. I picked it up on commentary, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I was like, I didn't realize how important this was. And so I put it in, but Fightful Wrestling was the ones that I ended up getting it from just because I was like, now I think it's actually important at the time I've seen it. So Y6 ended up taking out the Creed brothers, and Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis do this weird powerbomb thing. Like Rowan takes him out, takes out the Creed brothers. They're laying there next to each other, and then Dexter Loomis bounces off the ropes, runs up, jumps. Joe Gacy catches him, power bombs on the top of him, and they all of them end up looking up the ramp. And Chad Gable's walking backwards on the ramp, and then boom, light, and it's Uncle Howdy. Gable ends up running to the side, and Howdy's in his jacket. He's finally in his Uncle Howdy jacket. And so we were able to hear or see that, and it was awesome. And then we see the Pluto Nightbird logo flash across the screen, and then boom, like as normal, we get our Nikki Cross jump scare. So we actually get to see their match tonight on Raw. Again, we would have done this yesterday, but our voices were shot, so we just decided to take the night off and relax, and then so we could push this out for you today. But dude, when they took off all their masks, I was so ecstatic. It was amazing. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like you put down, like Dexter and Gacy seem to be the tag team, seeing as how it's only off of one double team move, but I think it's safe to assume that those two are going to be the tag team off of that.
Yeah,
with
I think
Eric Rowan or maybe Eric and Uncle Howdy both being singles guys off of this, or maybe Eric Rowan is just there to be an enforcer type guy.
And so I was getting ready to ask you, think he's an enforcer type of dude, but then you just said that, so it makes sense. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of everything that they've done with this. And the match tonight, oh my god, I'm so excited. I almost want it to be a squash match for the Wyatt Six, but I don't want it to be a squash match because I want to see what they look like actually wrestling in a match.
Dude, we found out a lot of stuff. We found out their moveset, their theme song, ringwear. We found out a lot of this stuff that we probably would have never known if this would have never happened. Because honestly, if Bray was still alive, personally, I'm starting to think if Bray was still alive, they would probably be running the Firefly Funhouse more like the fantasy side of this entire thing instead of the whole, now this is the reality of what was actually happening in Bray's mind. Like the Fiend was, Bray's mind, but now you bring them all out, bring all the characters and everything out from Bray's mind. Now we're in reality. This is what reality looks like. This is what we're now actually seeing is what is actually going on. And Bo or Uncle Howdy, whatever you want to call him. I wish they would have given him the name Taylor Rotunda. That would have just made it so much better for me. Personally, I think it would have played more into how personal this really is for Taylor or Bo Dallas, whatever you want to call him.
So I agree with everything that you're saying there.
We end up moving to the Judgment Day again. Notice a lot of Judgment Day early on in this show. Carlito, he goes, "Hey, yo, I made the match, but it's Dom versus Sammy, not Sammy versus Carlito." He goes, "Dude, you were supposed to make a match for you and Sammy. But he goes, since now you're free, you can deal with Jay. And Rhea's like, Carlito, you can deal with Jay alone. And I was like, oh no. I think part of this, the Usos. I think part of this really has to do, like, now that we've seen SummerSlam, I think since Rhea was treating Carlito like shit, Liv's gonna start treating him like a king, or to a degree a king. Obviously, she's got Daddy Dom.
She's gonna give him a new PlayStation.
Yeah, she's gonna give him a new PlayStation or something like that. Like, it's something along those lines that we're gonna see, and it's gonna be something ecstatic. Like, it's gonna be something that's gonna help push Carlito in his second run now, instead of kind of holding him back like the LW. I hate to say it, like the LWO was.
Yeah,
the LWO was holding Carlito back.
It was,
and they have some of my one of my favorite wrestlers of all time in that stable, being Rey Mysterio. So that's just my opinion. I mean, obviously other people have other opinions and all that, but I think Carlito being back is a good thing, but they just need to book him right. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
But this moves us into what I believe is our second match of the night: Sheamus versus Big Bronson Reed. As Pat usual, it's fight night.
Oh, I'm a big meaty man smacking bad meat.
Big meaty man smacking meat. Oh man, dude, it is
meaty man smacking man meat.
Smacking man meat. Then that was Sheamus coming out. Now Pat and Michael Cole both kind of, they almost, I want to say, gave like Bronson Reed his credit. Michael Cole or Pat McAfee goes, he's a wrecking ball. And Michael Cole, he goes, nah, he's a bowling ball. And, this big meaty man smacking man meat. And Sheamus basically, his big ass flies off the top turnbuckle, into Reed, kind of knocking him down. And then Reed was able to Samoan drop Sheamus onto a table. It was just, Sheamus was able to hit a white noise off the second rope. And Sheamus, he starts going to hype up the bro kick. He goes, bro. Looks to his left. Pete Dunne with a shillelagh. Whack! Big Bronson Reed sets up Big Bronson Reed for the tsunami. And I think now more we see Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. I think we're going to get to see that more and more and more, which is amazing, I think, for what it is.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. I think Pete Dunne's going after...
It's not going anywhere right now, but we'll see.
I think on NXT, Pete Dunne's going after the NXT title. So he's kind of got his foot in the water, or I guess 2 feet in 2 different doors is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I was going for. With that and Sheamus, which is super interesting. But I'm more interested to see his feud with Sheamus, honestly. Because oh my gosh, that could be such a fun match. Like Sheamus,
they could actually be doing something with Pete Dunne finally.
They could, yeah. I think Pete Dunne's really good. I think honestly, like Pete Dunne's an underrated call to be like an IC title contender for Braun Breaker. I'm not saying he should beat Braun Breaker, but I'm saying those two could have a banger of a match.
Right, and I get that. I agree, honestly. I think
or Gunther. Run Pete Dunne versus Gunther.
Clash of
oh my god! Oh my god! Those two have amazing matches.
I think what should happen is if you bring back the European Championship, I don't think you should, but hear me out. You bring it back. You basically kind of target it only towards the European guys, your top European guys. So Pete Dunne, Ilya, Gunther, Ludwig. Who else is there? Shoot, I don't know. Like all those stars. I mean, it wouldn't really fit Ilya much because Russia is technically in Asia, but nobody cares about that.
Right.
I mean, you could run something that way. I mean, you kind of show your international showcase more, which I think was what they tried doing back in the Attitude Era. I mean, I couldn't tell you though. I don't know. So this ends up moving us into a Gunther and Damian Priest fight video from last week, basically kind of highlighting everything. And then it moves into a Damian Priest hype up video, which again shows the fight from last week. This kind of just hyped up their SummerSlam match, and man, that was a hell of a match. I will say. We ended up going over it in our SummerSlam post show, so make sure to check that out. 95% sure the episode should already be up because I did it yesterday, but I will double check again and post.
It's already up. I've already started listening to it and shit to review it. Yeah.
Dubs. So that's good to know. Then we move into the unpredictable badass, the big dog, Braun Breaker's high butt video. Braun's like, I don't dislike Sammy, but I don't hate him either, or I don't like him. It's just, it's that weird. He's just like, I like him. I can enough to not hate him. So, and he ends up predicting his win at SummerSlam, which we learned he is our new Intercontinental Champion, which again we will see tonight on Monday Night Raw. When we're recording this is August 5th. We'll go over tonight's Raw once we get to probably Saturday or Sunday, whenever we get a chance to record. But we move into Jay versus. Hold on, let me fix that. Main event: Jay Uso versus Carlito, and the Yeet Man, he starts whooping Carlito until he runs right into the ring post, and Cole kind of he's bringing up the Bloodline story during Jay's matches here recently, and honestly, we talked about this at SummerSlam. I like your idea. Your idea being, having Jay and Jimmy try to come back as one, but Jimmy tries, but Jimmy can't. So he brings in Sami Zayn to bring them back together, and then we have our OG bloodline. But I think I'm gonna go a little step further with your idea with having the OG bloodline back. Sami's gonna try to be in it, but Roman won't let him in, and so because Sami turned on Roman at Royal Rumble 2023, I forget which Rumble it is. Mm-hmm. He turned on Roman, so Roman's like, nah. And so Jimmy and Jerry are like, bro, you want us in here? Sami's going to have to be in here too because he's the one who brought us together. And basically, that's how we implement Sami, or, he gets convinced by the wise man, Paul Heyman, since our original tribal chief is back.
Hell yeah, ROTC.
But Carlito tries to grab his apple, takes a bite. Jay spears the apple out of his mouth for the W. Quick little match for Jay. Get him the W whenever he's back on TV. We were really hoping he'd be at SummerSlam. Didn't get to see that happen.
It was really disappointing. A lot of people were yeeting for Jey Uso to come out, especially when Jacob Fatu was out.
That's what I'm saying. The entire arena went yay, yay,
all yeeting, hoping he would come out. But damn,
the surprise we had Roman coming back.
With that new theme, I've listened to it off of like recordings and stuff, just off a few times. I haven't actually gotten to hear the actual song.
Were you able to see it right before it happened?
See what?
Roman's return? Did you see anything that would have given Roman's return away immediately? During Cody's match?
Yeah, the screens all went black.
Yep. That's the only thing that really changed.
The screens went black and the lighting started to change it was all oranges and whites and stuff, and then it changed to blue and white, and then the screens went black, and then it popped up with head of the table, and oh my gosh. Oh, it was unreal.
Let's take a little break here. My dad, he posted on here a little bit ago. I just haven't answered. He goes, watch a WrestleMania 40 documentary before the SummerSlam press conference. Plus, it's during Cody's interview. It's something he says in the interview that'll go along with the documentary. So that's good to know, more or less, than anything. So if you can actually go now and watch it. I still have to go watch the documentary. I just haven't had time with work and trying to keep up with school. But now I have all the time in the world. Now I can actually go watch it. But we go moving to backstage. Jackie Redmond with Zelina. She goes, the arm feels good. And Zelina knows she was lucky to have Kaden, Katana, and Lyra by her side. And she goes, but what happened to me is what remind me who I am. And then Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya Deville all kind of, they corner her. Deville's advocates is what I've been calling this. And they all attack her. And they're all trying to get her set up to mess her up, and they get her up. They put her arm behind her back, and just Shayna absolutely just kicks the hell out of her arm, dude. And it was just not pretty. Zelina went down. I think Zelina might be done for a week or two. She might be off TV for weeks, dude. After that attack, that's crazy.
She might be out for a while.
We'll find out tonight, though. We end up going to commercial, come back, and Lyra, Katana, and Kaden are whistling in the medical room, checking up on her, making sure she's okay. And probably my favorite part of the entire Sami Zayn and Friends Do Cleveland show was Kathy Kelly. I'm not gonna go out and say what she said because I don't want to ruin her rep and with her backstage rep and everything and all the TV rep. But she was really funny. I will say she was really funny. With what she did, but she's backstage with The Miz, and we learned that Cleveland is hosted by The Miz, and The Miz is like, it's gonna be in my house, and Truth's like, WWE's bringing back in your house, like the shows they used to do back in the day, and Miz and Truth are going back and forth, and he's like, Truth's like, I want hors d'oeuvres, Miz is like, no, and Kathy's like, well, I want hors d'oeuvres, and Miz goes, all right, I'll bring hors d'oeuvres. And he was not too happy about that. Happy. Which we learned later, Miz did not bring hors d'oeuvres.
No,
but Truth did bring an ice bag as an ice bag. A 10-pound ice bag
at SummerSlam.
Man. And then I think this moves us into a match that I was kind of interested in, more or less for storytelling purposes, not just the match itself. Because we had Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross, who was with the Final Testament. And basically Woods is getting pissed after, Kross's promo before the match. He starts going ham. Basically, Kross is basically shit-talking Cody. He said he should have retired after he lost the WWE title in 6 seconds to who he didn't name, but it was Brock Lesnar. And Woods ended up getting distracted by AOP on the outside after taking them both out taking them both out. And Kross was able to hit Woods with the final prayer for the win. But more or less what Kross was trying to address is what I want to get into. He goes, Kofi re-injured his shoulder on the Japan tour. Do you really believe that, Woods? Do you really? And he's basically trying to tell Xavier that Kofi is jealous of the spotlight and that Xavier's in, which is why he injured him. He supposedly injured himself. But he's like, Woods, I want you to join the Final Testament one last time. He's like, I want you to say the power, or Kross wants Woods to say that the power of positivity was a lie. And he wants Woods to tell Kingston, like I said, he should have retired it when he lost the title in 6 seconds on SmackDown. Kross is going in on the New Day.
He is, but after him.
I just have one issue with this. I found out Big E actually still is not medically cleared. I think it's the C1 vertebrae in his back that's still, or his neck that's not healed properly. So that's why we haven't seen him come back yet.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen for a while if it happens at all, honestly.
Yeah, I want Big E to come back, but we can only have so much with him. We only have so much time left with a lot of these superstars that we grew up watching, because they're going to retire and stuff like that. So we're there. We're ready to be there for everything. I can't wait to fucking see Big E. I'm not going to lie. If Big E's able to return before Royal Rumble, I predict him being in the Royal Rumble as his surprise return.
Hell yeah.
We hear, it's a new day. Yes, it is. And we're thinking, it's Kofi or, Xavier Woods. And who pops out? Big E.
All he has to do is say, Indianapolis! Don't you dare be sour.
Clap for your 8-time WWE Tag Team Champions and feel the power. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
That's what I need. I need to hear Big E say it.
But after the match, we actually learned Jesse Ventura is back to WWE. Welcome home, Jesse Ventura. Probably obviously, I know he had some issues back in the day, but he's still probably one of the greatest ever.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out, like we saw it on Raw, just kind of pick at that. It's kind of cool to see him back. Then we move into Jackie Redmond with Sami Zayn. And Sami thinks it's funny that, Braun thinks he's going to lose because of Sami and Friends. The comedy show that we went to, pretty solid. And Sami gets why Breaker's attacking him, But Sami's attitude is different this time around. This time it's about beating Braun's ass at SummerSlam. Dude, Sam is the exact fucking opposite. Sammy got his ass beat.
Sammy got whooped. It was 5 minutes and 40-something seconds I read.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was literally like a 5. It was less than like 8 minutes. Less than 10,
Dude,
for sure.
that's unfortunate.
For sure. I thought it worked great. I liked the match.
Yeah, in your fantasy booking, the first 4 matches of the night were all like 15 minutes or less, dude.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it kind of sucked. Like, I want to know what they were going to do the last 3, how long they were going to do it, and what they were going to do, and what
I know, I
made
thought
them
Rhea and
be
Liz
so
went something
long.
like 20-ish minutes. Braun
I
and
think
Sammy went 5. U.S.
I
title
think
definitely went like 15, and so did Queen
I think
Maya's
you and I predicted like 45 minutes for Cody's match, I believe.
It ended up being like 30 minutes actually.
It's not even
30
bad. So we
minutes
had a
like
decent
even.
prediction.
Yeah, Punk and I actually think the longest match of the night might have been Gunther and Damian, or maybe for sure Cody and Solo.
Right.
I could always be wrong. Never take me as facts. I am in fact an idiot.
Never. We're fine. But this does move us into probably the most important part of SummerSlam besides the ending to me. Liv Morgan's promo video about her and Dom. And she goes, Dom's not a man. He's Rhea's little bitch. And then later on, Dom would post a pic with mommy, or with the caption saying mommy's little bitch on Instagram and, Twitter. And he goes, and Liv's going, I'm going to make mommy and Dom's life a living hell. And I put here, as time was going on, as this was going, I put, bro, I'm predicting Dom turns. I'm still holding on to it.
He was right.
We learned right. Dom turns. Dom turned.
Dom did
but
it.
We move into his match with
Son of a
him
bitch.
versus Sami Zayn. There wasn't really much to this match. Dom tries to run away to do some taunting, but Sami was able to hit the Raving Press to the outside, and then Dom hits a Three Amigos after countering a Blue Thunder Bomb. The Judgment Day, they come out, help, or after Sami attempts a Haluva kick, and JD and Carlito jump Sami after he hits the Blue Thunder Bomb, DQ, via Carlito McDonough interference. But Jey Uso comes out to the save, and Braun Breaker comes out and actually ends up hitting he just my bad, sorry. He absolutely starts going ham, and Sami goes to hit a Breaker with a boot, then an exploder, then Breaker ends up running away like a little pussy. Sami ends up Haluva kicking Breaker, but oddly biffs the ever living shit out of it. And that's kind of the end of it. We're sitting here looking at this feud. Sami said, I seen it today. He said, my Intercontinental title run was probably the most special. This past one, I didn't even read the reasons why, but that's what it was. He was just saying it was super special and everything like that.
He was an awesome IC champ. It was honestly one of the 2 people out of the entire roster who could have beaten Gunther for that IC title at Mania, and the other one was Chad Gable at the time. But I'm glad with what they're doing with Chad now.
Agreed. Speaking of Chad, we move into his favorite people on the roster. The Wyatt Six, they put out a video, and it was Dexter Lumis's video this time. He's just a man looking for mercy, which are kind of like, it's kind of a nice hint to Mercy the Buzzard. And he goes, as they watched you drown. I was only picking up the big lines. As they watched you drown, but there's freedom in sinking. What should they do when the buzzards start circling? Run! And there's a bunch of screaming or screeching and screen glitching. But the more important part about the run part was it was coordinates to a place called Nur, Poland that they posted on Twitter. And Nur backwards is run. Everybody, obviously the people who do it, all of the fans who have been keeping up with it, I have been sadly slacking. I need to get back on top of it. They already figured that out. And then,
That's interesting.
I
really
like you
like
said,
the fact that he has Dexter has this Charles Manson-esque X on his forehead to show some kind of corruption or
he's some kind of
devotion
psycho.
to this cult or family now.
He said, I might just go psycho.
You're going psycho.
Too many drunk white hoes. Don't copyright us, please. Those jokes. But I think this match tonight with Perk Academy is going to be something special, and then we're really going to be able to. I think what's going to happen here is we're going to be handed Perk Academy's first, even though it's their first match together, it's going to be their first loss as well. I think we're going to give this to the White Six here, just to really, like we've talked about in the past, how to prove that they're really the dominant force inside of WWE.
Yeah, for sure.
They're this whole thing is not to be messed with. This is actually a legitimate force we should be scared about. Just like everything with Bray.
Yep.
But like you brought up Chad Gable earlier, he was backstage with Adam Pearce, and he goes, Pearce, I figured out the remaining members of the Wyatt Six. And Pearce is like, yeah, dude, no shit. They're all under contract. And Chad's like, well, or Gable had said something, and there was a match made. We would end up learning Perk Academy versus the Wyatt Six, being, obviously, we know this, but I still want to make it clear, just for the ones who, probably didn't know. Maybe Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Eric Rowan. And we're going to get to see this match tonight. I'm excited. This is something I've been waiting for since WrestleMania. I've been covering that. I have been covering this since it started back at WrestleMania, or the Raw after WrestleMania. I didn't do the whole White Rabbit thing because at the time I wasn't watching the product, because I think the evil old man who made LA Knight play a male model ruined the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
He definitely did.
So that's just me. But Pierce is like, be careful what you wish for, and I'm starting to think, there's going to be a Wyatt Six tack after the match. Maybe Perk Academy beats the Wyatt Six. Maybe this actually does happen. But they don't stay down for long. They take the 3 count. Perk Academy gets up. They're kind of sitting there, happy and everything that they won. And then, very similar to Undertaker, he gets up. He's like, paranormal, whatever, dude. It's exactly the same thing what they do. They attack, and Chad Gable is somewhat able to run away. Can't run away in time, and gets caught up by Uncle Howdy, and Uncle Howdy hits the Sister Abigail on him, just to really, put that nail in the coffin that they're not people to mess with.
That'd be pretty dope. I definitely want to see Wyatt Six walk out with the dub and looking like a couple badasses for sure.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree to that. I think now with the Wyatt Six, we're one step further into if Alexa's coming back, because Alexa's been posting on social media recently. She just got her pink hair back, the pink little area on her hair back, so we could see her. I just don't know.
Hopefully.
But we move into Rhea Ripley backstage, and she goes, Liv, you so badly want to be the victim in your revenge tour reality. The reality is your little revenge tour comes to an end at SummerSlam. No more running, no more hiding. And the chair spot is just a warning. You took my championship, tried manipulating my family, my Latino heat. And she goes, come SummerSlam, it's time to get her revenge.
Yeah, she is.
We learned that obviously didn't happen. And Rhea, I think, is not going to play more into this line of, basically getting her revenge now, because it's Mommy's revenge tour now. Fuck Liv.
Yep. Fuck Liv. Should be Rhea's, but she wasn't Liv one because Dom's a bitch. Dom
is a bitch.
Yep.
So we're at that. Then we move into our 6-woman tag match of the night. Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter versus Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. Basically, Lyra and the party girls, whatever the hell they're called, the party of the summer. I don't know. They basically take control early on, and then there's some double team and triple team moves from Carter, Chance, and Lyra. But Zoe and Shayna were throwing knees everywhere. After countering the after party, Zoe was able to hit a Z360 for the win. I think it's kind of a squash match again. That just there's a bunch of squash matches going on, but I like the idea that Triple H is going on with these like powerhouses that we're seeing here. These are powerhouses. These aren't people to be messing with. So that's what I think about it. That's what I like. But Damage Control comes out, and the Damage Control and Deville's Advocates end up fighting, and the EO Sky ends up wiping out all of Deville's Advocates. Or I believe so. I think that's where we're going to be standing with it all.
Yep.
I like the fact that we see Damage Control's back, but now that they're back, do we see anything happening with them, or do we just kind of see them kind of just fade off into existence?
Oh no, I think we're gonna see like babyface Damage Control now. It seems like what they're gonna be trying to pitch for, or maybe they stay as heels and it's just more or less like who's the baddest group around, and it's got to be Damage Control, and they're just trying to push this group off the door. I think it's gonna eventually build. I think we're seeing that this is the early setup for War Games. Honestly, I think it's gonna be something along the lines of Sonya's group with Natalia is going to join that group, I think, because a couple of weeks ago we saw Sonya and Natalia have a conversation. I think it was after Natalia lost her Queen of the Ring match qualifier or Money in the Bank qualifier, one of the two, to Lyra. And she walked up to Sonya and was like, yeah, it's time for a change or something like that. And so I think Natalia is going to eventually join this group. And then I think on Damage Control's side, they're going to get Lyra Valkyria to join their side out of like a begrudging type thing where like she's still like not friends with them because Damage Control still doesn't like Lyra. Lyra still doesn't like Damage Control, but they're teaming up to take down Sonya's group. And then in the background of that whole storyline where the baby faces are feuding along with the women's teams feuding, you have two more members of War Games join it, and you put Liv Morgan on Sonya's team, and you put Rhea Ripley on Io's team to add even more into the War Games match.
I like that. What about Asuka, though?
Asuka's hurt until 2025.
Oh.
There's no shot.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no shot she's coming back.
Rip Asuka. But this ends up moving us into probably your favorite match of the night at SummerSlam, Gunther versus Damien. But this is Gunther, and this is from before SummerSlam. He's in empty stands. He goes, Damien's reaction last week is of a weak man. Damien, you don't have to pretend anymore. You're an emotional wannabe that abuses this great business as a cure for your childhood trauma. Bringing back up his past like he has, like just using that to manipulate his brain, which I think worked very well. Gunther, he goes, I used to look up to you, Finn, but you're also street trash. And Gunther will never forgive Damien for abusing, quote unquote, abusing this great sport. And at SummerSlam, the Ring General saved this sport and the World Heavyweight Championship. Can't say anything. We haven't seen his reign yet. We see the start tonight.
It's going to be phenomenal.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal start as well.
Absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be never ending. Put it on for like 5 years. Never end this freaking world title reign. I swear to God. My favorite wrestler right now, Gunther.
You wanted the Bruno Sammartino reign? You wanted a 10-year. You wanted a fabulous Law reign, which is 30-year reign.
Fuck Roman's reign. Beat Roman's reign now with Gunther, except have Gunther consistently wrestle and just
big meaty man smacking meat
on everybody, just constantly chop, 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 chop. All I want. I'm such a simple ape-brained fool when it comes to what wrestling I like. I just want Gunther to powerbomb, to sleeper, to Boston Crab, and to chop. That makes me happy.
A chop.
I love it. I absolutely love it. People call this dude boring in the ring. Watch this Finn Balor and Gunther match that happens later on in the show and tell me this dude is a boring wrestler.
Dude, he's so good at what he does, too. Like, Gunther he's the Ring General. I wish he'd go by the name the King General because, he won King of the Ring, but we're here.
Straight up.
This ends up moving us to backstage with Damage Control, who we were just speaking of very shortly ago. They're with Kathy Kelly, and Io and Kyrie are talking Japanese, so I can understand it. I don't speak Japanese, but I think Dakota Kai kind of, sorry.
Yeah.
The only reason I think Kai is speaking for them, but she goes, the only reason they've been running the place is because we've been gone. Dakota Kai wants Sonya next week, which is going to be tonight. I believe the match was announced. I think this should be more Io versus Sonya because of two leaders of the groups, not your little mouthpiece and the leader. I don't think it'll do good. I don't think it'll do good any good, but that's just me. And then moving to the Judgment Day and their locker room, they're all talking after SummerSlam. Judgment Day should be back in order. They're going to be back in order. No, they're not. Rhea is offering help to Finn, but he goes, Rhea, you're going alone against Liv. Damien's going up against Gunther. And I want to go up alone against Gunther. And he goes, do you think I'm not good enough? And Rhea's like, Rhea and Damien are like, no, that's not what we're after. We're just offering because we know how dangerous and how good Gunther is. We get it. But this match with Finn Balor was absolutely amazing. They're trading shots at the beginning. Balor starts going technical while Gunther tries to overpower him. But there's a phenomenal long shot after a commercial from ringside while Gunther absolutely just ends up beating the hell out of Balor. And Balor's absolutely – he looks like he's out from a sleeper, but was able to counter a powerbomb with a DDT. And these guys are just absolutely insane. They start wheeling on each other, start throwing chops. And both their chests ended up bleeding. Balor's at Raw, Gunther's at WrestleMania, SummerSlam. And Balor ends up passing out after Gunther locks in a sleeper. Gunther wins it, but he won't let go after the match. So this causes none other than Damien's music to hit. Priest absolutely starts going ham on Gunther, and then Gunther tries to escape into the crowd. And as soon as this happens, boom, they cut it. They did it again. I was so upset. So, I mean,
but it made seeing the actual match so fucking worth it on Saturday. This match, Balor and Gunther, oh my god, it lived up to my hype so much. It's my two favorite wrestlers right now, other than CM Punk. So CM Punk out of there. My two favorite wrestlers right now having a match that, oh my god, give me it as a world title feud now. Especially since Balor's not teamed with Damien anymore. You're like, oh my, please. It was everything I wanted and more.
Balor was finally done with Damien's reign because he was jealous?
I think so. I think he was jealous of Damien, and now he's going to maybe go after that title now, and he's going to try to become a double champ.
Honestly, I would.
I wouldn't be upset about Balor trying to do that.
And you know who's going to help Balor win that? Liv Morgan.
Oh my gosh, no.
I'm telling you, dude, she's going to help him.
Not the King General. Come on, we'll get over it, though. This reign is not coming to an end anytime soon, ladies and gents. Strap in and get ready for the long haul, because it's going to be
Strap in and get ready for the ride that WWE's taking our asses on.
Damn, so the ride that the King General is about to take us on with this world title reign.
But, yeah, honestly, I mean, that's all I have for Raw. So, let's just get right into SmackDown, homie.
So, let us move right into SmackDown, live from Cleveland, Ohio, which we were there for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. We opened SmackDown, actually, with like a little bit of a video of these superstars arriving to the arena. A bit of a hype video going over everything happening last week. Logan Paul, we even saw, this will be important for later, we saw him arriving in like the Prime Mobile truck or whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it.
Prime Mobile.
The Prime Mobile. But we opened SmackDown properly with Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, walking out. And he does the all is awesome. So what do you want to talk about? Well, better yet, who do we want to talk about? And as we all know, it's Solo Sikoa, and his music hits, and our fake ass Timu tribal chief walks out to a chorus of "We Want Roman" chants, and
We
Solo
want
gets in the
Roman.
ring. We want Roman. We got Roman.
We got Roman. Dude, we
Dude.
unfortunately missed this because we were trying to park the car.
Yeah, we got stuck in a lot of traffic and shit. Yeah,
Worth.
but we were able to watch it on the phones while we were parking. So it's all
Worth.
good. So worth. But Solo goes, Cleveland, acknowledge me.
No one.
We all hate this dude. Solo sucks. Chants start ringing out. And Cody goes, you know what? I kind of get it. I kind of relate to you a little bit. You're a little brother just like me. And from a distance, I kind of admire everything that you're kind of doing. The whole, like, becoming this whole tribal chief, trying to step into Roman's shoes and all that. But there's an old expression in the wrestling business that at some point the bell's gonna ring, and when it rings, you have nothing to lose, and I have everything on the line. To which Solo interrupts him and goes, "Are you done, bro? Because you are just wasting my time, and like, just like for your title reign, you're just like extending the time by trying to stall or whatever, bro." And goes, man, I'm actually not done. See, you are a self-appointed tribal chief, and I stand here, the actual WWE Undisputed Champion. To which Cody owes that title to Randy Orton, people like Randy Orton, people like Kevin Owens. And he goes, if I lose to you,
bro,
which,
I
like,
wish I would have picked that up as like a hint that they were going to be there. I wish I would have
looking
picked that
back
up, and
on
I
it, it
didn't.
was, yeah.
My brain just didn't click.
Oh,
It was a
no,
long
no,
weekend in
bro.
Cleveland, but it was well worth.
But then again, like, for, like, the majority of it, I think we were kind of, predicting at some point they would come back to help Cody in all of this,
I
whether it
think
was
so as well.
before Roman's return, or which it ended up being right before Roman's return, or after Roman's return, to them reacting to Cody and
I
Roman.
still want to say I called that months ago. I'm gonna hold that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna just stop talking about it, just
Straight up,
because
nah.
one of the
Talk about it
greatest
on
returns
every
of all
show. Talk
time.
about it on every show.
I cannot stop talking about it.
Best
Even though
Booker,
I wasn't the
best
biggest
Booker in
fan of
history.
Roman, I
WWE,
just
call him up.
call me up. Come on now. Hey, send me a DM on
Let me
Instagram at AR
holla.
underscore wrestling underscore. I'll answer you. Or Twitter, AR wrestling underscore.
Straight up, bro.
Sign me up. Sign me up. And you booked
Sign
it
me
so
up.
perfect. That's exactly how I would have booked it too.
Right? Dude, they did it perfectly.
So
You got the
let's get
tribal
into it
chief.
more. Not the trouble. That's my Solo's not my tribal chief. Roman is.
Fuck Solo. I like
For
our
real.
OTC.
I need my OTC. Oh,
But
baby.
Cody goes on. He goes, if I lose to you, bro, at SummerSlam, I can't repay that debt to those people. And trust me, I intend to pay it back in your blood. And
He
I'll
did.
do to you what he did. And I'll do to you what I did to your cousin Roman Reigns when I beat him in a Bloodline Rules match. Which Solo's like, man, you keep bringing that up, like Bloodline Rules, bro. When you beat Roman Reigns in that match, he was a weak tribal chief, bro. I'm not a tribal chief, or I'm not a tribal. He isn't the tribal chief, actually.
He
He
isn't
goes,
our
I'm
tribal
not a
chief, but
weak
he is
one.
not a weak tribal one. Yeah.
He's not a weak tribal chief. He goes, in fact, I'm dangerous. I'm
No, you're not.
dangerous, you know. So you talk a big game, huh, champ? And so goes, let's
He
put
said,
your money
he
where your
goes,
mouth is.
talk a big game, huh, champ? What? I said, you talk a big game, huh, champ? What?
What?
Dude, that crowd was so electric in Cleveland.
It was. Cleveland was going crazy. We love it. So now Jacob Fatu and the Tongans start walking out as Solo makes the challenge for a Bloodline Rules match tomorrow at SummerSlam. Cody goes, you know what? It might not be that smart, but let's make it official. And I accept, basically, is what he's trying to say. And then he
He said that,
addresses each member of the bloodline,
yeah, calls them all
going,
little bitches.
Tonga Loa, just so you know, I ain't scared of you. Tom Hatonga, we got a lot of history, a lot of people don't know about. And just so you know, I ain't scared of you. And Jacob Fatu, as dumb as it may be for me to say it, I ain't scared of you either, you dumb son of a bitch. You want a Bloodline Rules match? I accept.
Bro, I thought Jacob was going to jump in the ring and start going ham on him. I was like, no way Jacob just took that.
Straight up thought so.
I was
But
not.
apparently he did. The tribal chief,
I was
because all the
surprised.
tribal chief has to do is snap his fingers, and those three men are going to tear Cody's ass apart. To which Solo
But he's not
brings
going
up
to do
the
that,
fact
right?
that, what was it?
Is he going to do it, though?
Is he? I don't think so.
Nah.
To which now he goes, Tama and Jacob, they gonna win the tag titles tomorrow or tonight. Sorry, they're gonna bring the tag titles back to the Bloodline. And tomorrow at SummerSlam, I'm gonna bring the WWE title back to the Bloodline too. And Cody Rhodes finishes it all off, going, "I don't have to fight your family. I have to beat the Tribal Chief. And since the Tribal Chief isn't here, I'll settle for the wannabe."
Dude,
Ugh.
that was absolutely a banger line.
I really thought he was going to send the bloodline after him, like even
I
though he
did.
said
I
he
was like,
wasn't
Cody, you
going
should
to
not have
after
done that
that
to him.
bar. After
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
bar.
saying. Which we
Didn't
now
even know.
learned that Bloodline Rules is literally, oh, okay, now we're just going to bring in somebody, or just the Anoa'i family. Every time it's a
Yeah.
Bloodline Rules match, we'll just bring in new members or we'll bring in old members. Like, it's nothing. There's no actual, like threat in the match unless you're out, just being outnumbered. That's it. And it only matters between the guys who are actually in the match and nobody else.
Yeah, it's literally it's team. No, it's a 1v1. It's technically team versus team, but but the pinfall only matters between two people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else really matters when it comes to the pinfall or submission. It only matters between two people.
Yeah.
And everyone else comes out at different times with their entrances.
Yeah, for real.
It's
That's
the
whack.
best part of it, though. That's the best part because we got the pop for Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns.
Dude, I was. Oh. Okay, let's get into it, though.
We do move on to a Carmelo Hayes promo in his hair shop, getting that cut done, and he talks about Andrade, bro. Talking all of this shit on him, bro. All Andrade knows is quitting teams and switching teams, which I took as a little bit of a dig as him, like when he left AEW to join WWE, after leaving WWE to join AEW.
For real. That was too funny.
That was funny. I love Mello. And I also love these two's chemistry, which we now move on to Andrade El Idolo versus him, Carmelo Hayes. And this match, damn. They had another banger. These two have just got unreal chemistry.
Agreed. These
But they
two in the
do
ring are
start this
insane.
off. Bro, they're nuts. We go, bro, they're going move for move. And early on, Andrade even went for a message for Mello, only to roll out of the ring. And throughout this entire match, Andrade kept trying to go for like that Spanish fly that he hit on Mello, like during Money in
Yeah.
the Bank when they landed on that ladder. But Mello was like, nah. Kept countering that shit. At one point, hits a fucking six suplex through the ropes. Mello hits a nuts ass face buster, and he's literally got welts forming all over his chest as Andrade is hitting savage chop. Like he's going ham on this fool. It's a beaut, bro. This moonsault he hits, he clearly learns it from Charlotte. Like,
Mm-hmm.
god damn.
Charlotte is our queen.
I miss Charlotte Flair
Oh,
so much right now.
hell. The queen.
Oh, hail the queen. And for the ending, though, Andrade moved away from Mello, going for the first 48, and attempted the message. Only Mello got a roll up on him, and Andrade was able to counter it. And I think he pulled on the tights, too, to pin Mello with that surprise roll up for the win. And Andrade's 2-0 on Mello, and I think talked about maybe going after the U.S. title.
If Melo goes after this U.S. title, I would not be upset.
Or I'm talking Andrade.
Oh, Andrade. No, yeah, that's
Mhm.
what we were talking about. But we just, my dummy. I'm my dummy. I'm a dummy. Yeah.
I would not be upset about Andrade doing that, though. Big fan of Mr. El Idolo, and this match is just a banger. If y'all got time to go watch it, I suggest you do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree to that.
Definitely. Then we go backstage to Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, and they're basically talking about how they think Apollo Crews is going to be way easy for Santos to deal with. To which Santos reply, he like snaps on these dudes. He turns around and he goes, "Easy? Was Apollo easy last week in the tag team gauntlet match when y'all got eliminated by him? Y'all LDF, y'all." Sorry, he corrected himself, and then he goes, "We need to get back on track," before he puts his mask up and then walks out to the ring to start the match with or between Santos Escobar and Apollo Crews. This wasn't really a whole lot to write down with this match. It was a fun match. Just not a lot happened during it.
Yeah, I
But
think.
Electra got involved early on.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think that Apollo, they can do so much more with Apollo, but they're not. They're not doing anything with Apollo around. They're kind of just sticking him next to Baron Corbin, which is unfortunate because Baron Corbin is the same way. They're not doing anything with Corbin at the moment.
Yeah, no, they ain't doing nothing with Corbin. I like
think
Corbin.
they need to. I do too. Corbin's actually really good.
I didn't like the fact that he
in
would Kurt
NXT.
Angle. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't like that. No, I'm not.
I didn't like any of that. But recent Baron Corbin, I like recent Baron Corbin.
Agreed.
Speaking of our boy Baron, bro, he's stopping LDF from getting involved at all points in this match. So, like, at some random point, he's just standing on the outside, and someone underneath the ring, I think it was one of the members of LDF, I don't really remember, grabbed his legs and, like, started pulling on him, and then all of LDF jumped him and started attacking him, distracting Apollo Crews, and that let Santos Escobar hit the Phantom Driver for the win. But Big Baz got taken down, bro.
Apollo!
I definitely just want to see something more happen with Baron.
Agreed. I want to see.
I don't feel very
more with
strong
him
about
and
Apollo,
Apollo. To be honest, like it's not doing any good for their careers to be like the way they are. Like they're actually two talented people. I don't know what Tripp's got in store for these guys, but if they do something,
I like everything that Braun Breaker's doing on Raw, but I'm like, why did y'all break Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin up? They were such a fun tag team. What the fuck?
that's what I'm saying. Well, honestly, I'm going to say this. I think Breaker was the reason that Baron was so like loved and everything in NXT was because Breaker was such the good talent. They just happened to pair him with Baron.
Yeah, but they also had really good chemistry.
Yeah,
like I watched some of their segments on NXT. Like they were a part of like I don't watch NXT regularly. If anything, I'll watch highlights on YouTube. They were one of the people on YouTube on NXT's highlights on YouTube that I'd always make sure I watch.
Yeah, I didn't start getting into their story until right before the draft, and unfortunately, I actually didn't get to watch any of it. So I mean, it was again, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate.
So, yeah,
but
that's all I really have for it. But they're very good. They're very talented wrestlers.
They are very talented
in themselves.
I really like them a lot. But now we get two more fucking awesome people, two real life superheroes. Jade Bianca Belair, the EST backstage with Byron Saxton, basically talking their shit. They're gonna win the women's tag team titles later on in the night. They're saying, which we kind of found out was not really true, but we'll get into that later. For now, though, we go to Logan Paul's homecoming ceremony. To which, like, all the Clevelanders in the crowd were like, "Boo, fuck this dude."
For real.
For real. We had a couple sitting by us, too. That was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he opened his promo by going, "Cleveland, I'm home. And LA Knight, I have never met a man so eager to take my belt off, bro. You are delusional if you think you are going to take my U.S. title off of me in my own hometown. It's from Westfield, but whatever. But whether y'all want, he's talking to the crowd now. He goes, whether y'all want to admit it or not, I inspire this city. I represent this great city. I am Cleveland. I am Batman is all I could think of when he said that.
That's literally everything about his smile.
And the reason Knight has so many fans is because people can relate to him by being a bunch of tryhards who never made it. And he gets why people don't like him. He's only had 2 title defenses in 273 days. He gets it, but that's 2 more title defenses than LA Knight's ever going to have.
Agreed. Yeah.
Not agreed. Nah.
My dumbass. Not agreed.
He then starts laughing at everybody, saying, "Bro, I can't relate to any of y'all. I'm great. I made it." And then he starts talking about the quote-unquote dignitaries that he brought with him to Nick Aldis's reaction of, like, just so you know, like, I looked up these people, your so-called dignitaries, and man, I couldn't find a lick of information about any of them. And Logan's just like, no, you're not from Cleveland. You wouldn't get it, bro.
You're not from Cleveland. You wouldn't get it.
He's from Westlake. They're very important.
You're from Westlake.
He's from Westlake. And
Logan.
Those fans
around us were awesome.
It was so funny. And Logan then says he's got something to reveal to us, and he revealed a big ass banner of himself. And I'm not, bro, that explosion that they let off when they showed off that banner scared the fuck out of everybody. That was like, it
it's hard to
scared
do that stuff
me.
when you're indoors.
Yeah, it scared me. I know. I don't know if it scared you. I know a couple of people around us were like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?"
Yeah, I definitely was like, oh, like it made me jump a
But
little bit. I wasn't scared.
yeah, but
I knew it was coming because of the fact of the banner. They always
it
do it.
revealed the banner of Logan Paul with a United States title, and what's it got
Yeah,
written all over his face? Yeah,
yeah,
there's the word yeah. And who comes out right afterwards? L.A. Knight. Yeah.
yeah,
He goes, Cleveland. What's that banner say? Yeah. Everyone's
yeah.
going yeah now. And Logan's response to that was, "Congrats, bro. You people can read." And
Logan's
Knight then
pissed.
responds to him. He goes, "Bro, you better get serious. We are 24 hours away from SummerSlam and 24 hours away from you losing that U.S. title. And Paul, you attacked me last week, and you're lucky that I ain't in that ring whooping your ass this week." And he goes,
Oh my
"Hold on,
god.
wait a minute,
Yeah,
wait a minute. You say that this is your hometown, that you represent Cleveland. You're from Westlake, aren't you, you goof?" I got the loudest pop possible.
he's from Westlake.
He's from Westlake. Uh, Paul's response is just like, "Man, that's a suburb of Cleveland. What you mean? What you mean?"
Yeah, like I
And
was
he
born
goes,
here. What you
"Man,
mean? Westlake?
because
What
of
is
all
that?
this, what's that?" He goes, "I need to go find you a new banner. I'm gonna go backstage and find you one." And Paul goes, "So what are you, DJ Khaled? What, you got another one back there?" And he starts walking backstage, asking people for like banner material or something. Even passes Pretty Deadly. Yes, boys. As they're trying to advertise for
Yes,
Pretty Deadly the musical, which
boys.
I'd love to see at some point. And then Knight all of a sudden finds Logan Paul's Prime Mobile just sitting there. Of
That
course, it's
dummy left it
unlocked
unlocked.
because it's,
Yeah.
yeah, gets in that thing and he goes, Logan Paul's head is so empty, they're going to open a Spirit Halloween in there. And at any moment, he's going to come running through here looking for it. And at that time, there comes Logan Paul. And
3,
so,
2,
2,
bye.
1. He actually timed it really well. There he
He
was. It
timed
was
it
right on
perfectly.
one. And then he zooms away in the Prime Mobile, which we saw him arrive at SummerSlam in and smash a window. But
It was pretty cool.
as he's driving away, Paul yells, "Bro, that's a crime! That's a crime!"
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Logan, like you're not over here beating people with weapons in the ring when you can't even have the weapons in the
Straight
ring.
up.
Just saying,
Right?
man.
It's nuts. I was,
Just
dude, I was so excited. I loved this U.S. title match that happened on SummerSlam. I'm not even lying.
yeah,
Yeah, it was one of my favorite matches of the weekend. It was so much fun.
agreed. I have to agree to that.
And like I said, hopefully we see like Andrade as like personal preference for me, either Andrade or Mello as like his first proper feud now as the champion.
Yeah, or I mean, run it back one more time with Logan, but have LA Knight finally officially beat him,
Not a bad call. Not a
or not
bad call.
officially
Do
beat
a
him, but like
rematch.
really kick ass.
Yeah, because Paul hasn't had like that kind of a rivalry or a feud in WWE since he's
Yeah.
started. He's only had these one-off matches.
Oh, so
So
you kind of make it a blood feud at that point. Shit.
yeah, that would make it a pretty cool change of pace for him to have an actual feud
Agreed.
with LA Knight like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but is he going to go to be a dad or something?
I think so. Yeah, so I think he's going to take some time off TV, probably
Sure.
until Royal Rumble, I'd say.
Yeah.
But that's just a guess.
Hmm.
But we now move to the Women's Tag Team Championships being defended by Unholy Union facing off against Jade Cargill and the EST Bianca Belair.
The EST. Against the wall. Dude, that song
Everyone,
be making me vibe.
when it started playing in the freaking arena, everyone around us started going crazy for
Dude,
it. We all love Bianca.
we all hated Bianca at one point. Now we all love her.
We all love her.
Bianca's doing good work.
Oh man. Oh yeah. And so now we'll get right into the match. Right before it, like before the match even started, Unholy Union attacked Jade and Bianca, but they don't give a fuck. They're too strong. They picked him up, gave him fall away slams like it's fucking nothing. I wish I could, dude. I wish I could
Dude, I
do
wish
that.
I could lift someone up like that.
It is nuts. It is insane. But when it actually gets started properly, Unholy Union was singling out Jade Cargill, keeping her from tagging in Bianca. At one point, Fire hits like this savage swanton bomb while like Jade was laid out on Dawn's knees. I thought that was a really cool double team move.
Dubs.
And then Bianca got the hot tag at one point. She goes wild. You know
Yeah,
how it
absolutely.
goes. Until at one point, Bianca lifts Alba Fire up for the KOD, and on the outside of the ring, Blair Davenport actually attacks Jade Cargill, pushing her into like the ring steps, I'm pretty sure. And that causes a DQ. And then Blair and Unholy Union attack Jade and Bianca and just lay them out, completely wreck them after the match, which
What the hell
I
was
think
that
we were
about?
all expecting Naomi, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, what the hell happened? Like, what was the point of Blair coming out? Did I throw
I
out
think
the idea to
she's.
get like another member of Unholy Union?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
this was actually happened. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but I think Blair and Unholy Union were like seen talking in the background of like a camera shot. I don't know who it was, but in the background of like a camera shot, like we've seen like the Creeds and Chad Gable talking in the background of camera shots before
Yeah.
of like interviews. I think that happened once with Blair and Unholy Union.
Right.
But that's all the setup that this has really had for it. But I guess she's
Yeah.
now joining Unholy Union.
I mean, that would work perfectly. I don't think I would put Blair in any tag title match ever because she wasn't there when they won it. So you can't. I wouldn't run that the Freebird rule that way.
Yeah, definitely don't run a Freebird rule. Definitely have those two just stay those the only two people defending that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A lot of people. We were sitting next to this one dude. He was so cool. He kept
Bro, he
saying
was
that Jade was gonna turn on Bianca after the match,
because
and dude,
Bianca's pregnant. That's he
he
kept saying that
damn
Bianca
near
was pregnant.
he damn near convinced me it was gonna happen. I'm not even gonna
Dude, yeah,
lie. And then
what we bet
Blair
like a
comes
beer or
out.
something on that?
Yeah, he wanted to bet a beer on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious. Then Blair comes out. He turns to us and he goes, "Who the hell is that?"
Like, bro hasn't been watching SmackDown.
It
I
was
don't blame him. If
hilarious.
it's
I
those
thought it
two,
was so
if
funny.
Blair Davenport's on my TV, I think I'm gonna turn it off. To be
It
honest.
was so funny, man. No, yeah. But now we move on a little bit to honestly what might be one of my favorite segments on this episode of SmackDown. Probably my favorite segment on this episode of SmackDown
It's
because
Tiffy
we
time.
kind of
Sorry.
called it.
I
We
gotta
kind of called it. It's Tiffy time. Now it's time,
Yeah, we
and we
called it,
cut to her
but
backstage.
I don't know. I don't know how I felt about this yet, but
You don't know how you feel about it? I fucking love it. I absolutely love this. Tiffy's backstage crying over her broken briefcase, only for Nia Jax to walk in. She's like, "Oh, Tiffy." And she hands her this new custom pink briefcase modeled like a purse. It's even got a shoulder strap on it. It's literally perfect for Tiffany, I think. And the only caveat is that she warns Tiffany that if she tries to cash in on Nia, she's no longer going to be Nia's princess, and she's going to have to answer to her.
I'm
Which
saying.
Tiffany's like, okay, okay, I promise, I promise, I promise. And oh my gosh, I love this briefcase. I can't even lie.
I don't necessarily know how I feel about this briefcase just yet because the whole like the briefcase in itself, like it's cool. I get it. I get the design and everything, but I don't like what they did on the face of the briefcase.
What do you mean?
Like how it's like dark pink, light pink, dark.
Okay,
Yeah, I was.
I can't get that.
I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of get it.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
but yeah. Then we move. I mean, still continuing on with Tiffy time. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven then walk in. And Chelsea just starts mocking Tiffany's briefcase, which, like, how dare you, motherfucker? She starts saying that she'd make it way better by making it pale green and talks about how Tiffany just cost her the chance to become Miss Money in the Bank and to become Miss Cha-Ching Chelsea, which, not a bad name.
I definitely agree with
And
that. I don't think it's a bad name either.
not at all. But then Tiffy ends it all by walking away, going, "Green is definitely not your color. Toodles."
Toodles.
Toodles.
I fucking love Tiffany. Everything she needs to be the superstar she is. You know?
Yeah, definitely. But then we get to move on closer to. Oh yeah, 1000% though. I think Tiffany, like when it comes to this, sorry, I kind of started moving on there. But I think that when it comes to this briefcase, I think Tiffany just needs to maybe hold it past Mania. Either hold it past Mania, or I'd say maybe cash it in at Mania. But that's just me. Definitely hold it for a while, and she's definitely set up for big things in the future.
Oh, for sure. I think as well that this will do good for Tiffany. Especially, I don't think it'll do good cashing in on Nia. But I mean, I think we all know how this story's about to play out.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
I think
Like
we all
Nia basically
know.
just handed her the loaded gun that Tiffany's gonna use to take the title with. 1000%. But then we get on to our main event of the evening. We start this off with an actual promo
In
from
style,
DIY
because it's
walking
always
backstage.
of
It's Tiffy
course.
time. But then we get as
We
DIY's
gotta
walking
see
backstage.
Candice and
Johnny.
Quill!
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Hell yeah. We did get to see them. And DIY is walking backstage, and Johnny Gargano is basically going like, "This is Cleveland. This is my city. The Bloodline is walking into my house with a bunch of pissed off Clevelanders, and we're gonna rip you apart." Basically, like, fuck yeah, Johnny.
Oh hell
But
yeah,
it is
dude!
now WWE Tag Team Championship match: DIY versus the Bloodline.
Dude, their entrance
I
is badass.
Yeah, the Bloodlines.
Both of them. Seeing the bloodlines up where we did, and then just happening to find like that stairwell that led near the stage, and it was so cool, dude.
Yeah, 1000%. And there was, dude, I love Jacob Fatu's entrance. It's so fucking badass. It's so cool. I think.
He
Then we
is.
do move to the actual match itself. It starts off actually just basically simple as fuck, honestly. Tama just takes control out of it, just throwing Champ all around until the hometown boy Johnny Gargano gets the hot tag in there. So it's going crazy. Or it's tossing everyone. He actually gets Fatu out of the ring, tagging in Ciampa at some point. And he's up on the turnbuckle. Ciampa is at one point. It's an air raid crash to Tama as Gargano flies through the air, taking out Fatu with a dive. And Fatu just Jacob's the highlight of this match, no matter what you say. He's absolutely murking people, especially Ciampa, with kicks after tagging himself in. And after the ref gets distracted by Tonga Loa, Solo is able to spike or hit the Samoan spike to Johnny Gargano. And this is when Jacob motherfucking Fatu
He's not human.
shows the world why he is the greatest wrestler in the bloodline right
Greatest
now.
Samoan in the bloodline. Honestly, moveset wise ever.
He's freaking awesome.
His moveset's stupid.
He eats a poison Rana whole, licks his fingers afterwards, and looks at Gargano, calls him a bitch, picks this boy up, Samoan drops him. I like how Corey called it. He goes, up to the heavens, driven down to hell.
I like that as
With
well.
that Samoan drop. He bounces to the top rope, hits the moonsault, which I'm not even going to lie, I would say rivals Tiffany's. And he's a big dude to be rivaling Tiffany's moonsault.
He shouldn't even be able to move the way he does.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. Hits this Impaler DDT, which I don't think we ever doubted was going to be for the 1, 2, 3 new WWE Tag Team Champions, the Bloodline.
I don't know how I feel, but I think I get it now. I think if they lose them to anyone, they need to lose them to the Street Profits.
I agree, yeah. If anyone,
I don't think any other team deserves them more than the Street Profits right now, besides the Bloodline.
I definitely think the Street Profits are a good call to be someone to beat these guys, but like, man, I also think they should have a long, not a super long title run with them, but decently long. I don't know if at some point we're going to get the Usos involved in this tag title feud on SmackDown. Like if they both eventually move to SmackDown to help Roman and then go after those belts.
How does 8 months sound?
That sounds good.
Because you know what time that is, right?
Outmania.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you have the Usos beat them.
The Usos beat him at Mania for him.
Yeah. And when we say Us, y'all say, oh, Us.
Ooze, oh.
Oh, Us. Oh.
Oh.
Wait for that to come back, dude. Can't wait.
I don't know, though, but we did have just, like, fucking fire weekend, not even gonna lie. Like,
yeah, a very fire weekend.
Every fucking possible turn.
Oh, man. That was so exciting. It was so fun. Would 100% do it again. February, we might have to hit up the Rumble. I'm not going to lie to you.
1000%. We will probably have to hit up the Rumble, especially since it's basically coming to us.
Yeah, we only got, hour and a half drive, pending traffic.
I think it's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, is there anything else you got, though?
Not too much else to add on to this, but
Hit us with the closeout.
Gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to another episode of the AR Wrestling Podcast. Sorry this one was out a little bit late.
Yeah, very sorry.
But make sure y'all please follow. Oh yeah. True. But please follow our socials. Twitter is AR Wrestling _. Our Insta is at AR _ Wrestling _. We are on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Put AR Wrestling Pod into your search engines, and then put AR Wrestling. I think it's some other handle into our YouTube. I'm pretty sure, right?
AR Wrestling 1020 if you're looking up exact by username.
Exactly. That's the YouTube handle for now. And once again, thank y'all for listening. We will catch y'all next time.
Thank you.